I start doing this. How do I do that? So you always have to be truthful of who you are. Don't be shy to be yourself.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Shift. I'm Eric. Today I have a special guest, Konomani Dopi. This guy journey is so wonderful. He's an athletics guy. That's what he said. But we want to jump into his journey, challenges. He can take us there, brother. Welcome to the channel, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. First of all, before we start, I like to give people their flowers on what they do, because I know how it is to, construct something like this, especially in the community. So I wanna first congratulate you, man, for doing a passion. You talked about it, like you're doing it. It's a great thing, man. So continue the drive.
Thank you.
Or, no pun intended, continue the shift.
Shifts.
And we'll see this will grow in places, and we'll take it above and beyond.
By God's grace.
Yeah, man. Nah, good, man. It's good to be here. I'm excited.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So before we dive, we jump, we run. So who is Konomani Dopi?
Konomani is a name I was given. But for those out there, I'm going to expose myself. My full name is Michael Falajaba. That's my full name.
Michael what?
Michael Falajaba.
Fala.
Yeah, Fala.
Fully Fala.
Yeah, I'm actually Papa Red. I don't like you Fala.
Okay, yeah.
I'm Mende Gizi Bobo. Dopi, it's just a name that was given when I was young. Growing up in Australia. We'll be troublesome. We'll be small, right?
Okay. Tell me,
Yeah.
Growing up in Australia, how was it for you? Like, come on, take us back. The challenges you face until...
It was all right to say, but it wasn't the best. I can't lie, because moving here as a kid, like living in Sierra Leone in Guinea, coming here, I spoke French, I spoke Creole, French, and Soso. So my accent was different, a lot more different than what my accent is now.
You see, and you still speak French?
Nah. I don't even speak Soso anymore, man.
Okay.
So my accent was different than what it is now. And I went to my mom, shout out to my mom. We lived in Maryland for like 6 months. So I went to St. Mary's Primary, but I was very shy. So I have, when I first moved here, I did like, you have to do the test and all that stuff. So I discovered I have dyslexia, which is a learning difficulty. So I was very shy because of that. So from that, I still have it now. And I'm able to navigate my life through it. You know what I mean?
So you try to say that, so most of the time when I say something, you don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I just shake my head. So sometimes I struggle with reading, writing, and sometimes understanding. But now it's better, because when I moved from Maryland to move to Padstow, because all my childhood life, I lived in Padstow. And Padstow, obviously not 2 minutes from Bankstown, but it's surrounded by white people, So my primary school, I was the only black kid there. So I didn't really have that, that sheltered of having a community. I kind of had to do everything on my own. Living in Padstow, going to Padstow Park. But the thing about Padstow Park is when they discovered that I had a learning difficulty, they kind of helped me to, along the way to coach me, because I had to learn how to read and write all over again, because it's different when I came here. So I had to learn step by step. And the teachers were so patient with me. I came out of my shell. I became me. I was very reserved when I was a kid. I was very reserved. If you see, whoever knows me knows that if you know me, I'm a very bubbly person. But if I walk into a room, I don't know anyone, I'll just sit there. I won't even say a word. But when you know me, you see me, you say, this guy, man, I'm a bubbly person. Of course. I have a double personality. I'm an introvert, extrovert. I can go outside, make noise, but when I'm inside, I don't want anyone to talk to me.
Talk to you.
I just want to be left alone. So I'm that type. But it was difficult growing up in Padstow, because I was the only African in my school, and the African that was pretty much in that diaspora, even though it's 2 minutes from Bankstown. But everything I went, I was the only African. So I didn't get that code, that integration until I went to high school, meeting black people, start speaking your tongue around black people, all that stuff. So it was very, I got bullied a bit when I first came because of the way I spoke. But the thing is, I was playing football, so I was okay at football, because when you grew up in Sierra Leone, in Guinea, all they do is play football.
Play football, yeah.
Yeah, it's 24/7. So football, I will play ball. And when I wait, man, I can't do it.
But I want to ask, because for me, it was the same, when I discovered my studying condition, it was kind of hard. It was challenging, bro. Move to a different country, you don't know anyone. You feel like you want to belong, you want to get into the environment, but
How do you start?
Yeah.
How do you enter? How do you integrate? It's hard. Yeah.
But I feel your pain, bro. But I want to ask you, when you find out about this whole diagnosis, like, what are the challenges like for you? Like,
it was harder because, like, obviously, like, there was more like that. When I was a kid, there was a little bit of ADHD as well, because I was very energetic, very energetic, out there, active. My mom, to a point that I was always getting into fights in school. So the principal always used to call her, like, what's wrong with this kid? Like, why is he always energetic? Why is he always fighting? Why is he always getting in trouble? I think then they just have to go in there and speak to them. Like, look, he's coming from another country. He doesn't really know Australia. He's new. And then you guys just slap all these things at him, because I didn't know how to act. Like, I didn't know how to act among these people. And you feel uncomfortable because you don't feel welcome. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was just stressful for me, because, like, even communicating with people, because I'm even to this day, I always tell people I can talk. I'm a very good speaker. I can speak. But if you tell me to, like, put it in writing, you've lost me. Not that I can't do it, but my concentrations and my anxiety starts to kick in. Especially right now, it's me and you in this room, right? If you give me, say, can you read the text? I know how to read it. I understand it. I can read it in my own time. But if you ask me to do it, my anxiety kicks in. And I start to, like, the words start to, like, move. And then I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, so to this day, I struggle to be out in the community when it comes to education. And I always speak it out loud. If I go somewhere, even at my work, I tell them, hey, listen, I have this. It's like a superpower and also a limitation, because I never go beyond my abilities. I'm content with my abilities, because if I don't tell you, you will tell me, say, oh man, do this, and I start doing this. You know, how do I do that? You know, so you always have to be truthful of who you are. Don't be shy to be yourself. I think when I started expressing myself and, like, hey, I have this, and then at work and places, people, like, understand, because when I do things differently, they get it. It makes more sense. But if I don't say it and they're asking me to do stuff and I'm not doing it, you get frustrated. Like, why is the guy not doing simple thing? It's a simple task. Like, you know, read this report, do that. It's a simple task. Why is he not doing it? And now it's like, I've embraced it at this age now. Sometimes I text people, it doesn't make sense. To me, even it doesn't make sense. Like, I would text you right now, like, boom, boom, boom. She'd be like, huh? When I read it, I'm like, fucking you done it again. And I was like, hey, sorry, man. And then I'll just send a voice note. I'm like, yeah, listen, this is what I'm trying to say. So it still happens. It's on and off, but you just have to live with it, you know? But that's what you tell people, so they understand that, okay, this is what they're dealing with. If they're willing to accept it, that's fine. If they don't, then it's okay. You know, so I don't just pretend that I know everything. You know, I like to express myself and be like, this is who I am. The people that know me know the true me. And I just leave it like that.
What about, the family, yeah? Like, when they found out your diagnosis, yeah? How was that, this whole thing impacted the family?
Yeah, I come from a very supportive family. Like, I come from a big family. My mom, like I said, my mom always used to get called, like, almost every day out of school, man. Her leaving the job and coming was a lot. And it was, for me, I was very embarrassed, because I'm like, man, this lady's working hard to put food on the table, to pay the rent, and she's leaving the job to come and listen to these people, because I'm always in trouble, because I don't know how to address what's going on with me as, like, a young kid. And I was still trying to figure things out. So I think one thing I learned from my mom and one thing I learned from my parents is to be very expressive. I'm an emotional man. I always tell people my superpower is being an emotional man. I like to express myself. But people don't know that. Like, if you know, like me and you talking right now, you wouldn't know that. Nah. That I'm very emotional. Because outside, you have to, you know?
Yeah.
You have to do like that. You have to protect yourself. Because the world is not going to protect you if you don't protect yourself. But if you're around my circle, you will know that I'm a very emotional person. And I can't change that. Because I love that version of me. I love that part of me. But I can also be out there and do madness. You know, I can just switch up. But yeah, my parents were very supportive. My family was very supportive, to a point where they give you homework to do at home. They were helping me out, trying to find ways for me to learn and adjust. And I understand it took me a while, but I coped very well. I think in life, you just have to learn how to navigate your own race.
Well, I can relate, because even me, when I was in school, like, you know, they will ask questions, all this, yeah? But, like, I will know the answer. I will know, like, yeah. Like, I'll be like, oh, I know this, yeah? But in my mind, processing the words to say, that I'll be like, F this, bro. But then after school, I'll be like, oh, I let myself down. Like, you know, like, I'll come home, I don't want to talk to anyone. For some people out there, yeah, they don't know, like, what we face.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's why it's cool when we have this conversation.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like there was one time, I was at work, simple task, but I need to explain to someone. But it's like the whole place was shaking.
Because you're trying to find a way to put it into your own words.
But I was sweating. But they can see, like they can see I'm trying to like express myself. So there's this guy, but I will never forget this Irish guy, but he goes to me, take your time, process yourself, take your time. So that's how like I keep going slowly. I'm not saying like I'm perfect, but I can.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only way, man.
So I can.
Once you know how to navigate, you can become a prime minister, you can become a president. You just have to find your lane. That's how life works for me too.
But like in that case, I know there is parents out there, like someone out there going through their own little condition, What advice will you give that person? Because I know the main thing, like before we jump into that, I would say we're blessed, our family.
Well, definitely,
we're here. But for you now, what advice will you give to that mom, that dad, or that auntie who is looking after a kid?
That's a good one. I mean, look, I was, like I said, I'm blessed to have my mom and dad here, because not a lot of us have it, and especially being African in this country. And I think I would build this foundation with them that I can come to them with anything. We can literally, me and my parents would talk like 2 hours on the phone. It's crazy. I think for a parent is to learn how to be comfortable with your kid. You know, be a parent, but also learn how to be a friend, because so your kid can be expressive, but don't lose that parent side. Always be a parent. I'm not saying go be his best mate. You don't need to be a kid's best mate, but you need to understand, because what I always say, when I put myself in their shoes now, is they once was a child and they once became a teenager and then they became an adult. Now they're parents. So everybody goes through those stages. I will go through that stage at some point. I will be a father and a husband at one point. You're in a perfect stage right now. You're a father and you're a husband, but you were once a kid.
Yeah.
So now you're in that position to coach your kid things that you have learned from your parents and things that you've learned from your childhood. So I think that's what me and my parents have, that bond, is we educate each other. My parents will listen to me. They're not that big of, if I say something and it makes sense, they'll take it. We educate each other, but they're still the parent at the end of the day. If I still fuck up at my big ass age, they'll pull me up on it. Like, I don't like that. So always be the parent, but find a way to navigate your kid and understand your kid, because the world right now is more scarier when they were living in it, because there's so much out there now than when they were living in it. So you need to understand, your kid needs to be able to trust you to come back and be like, hey, this is what happened. How do I deal with it? But if you don't have that, they will just tell you, yeah, no, I was here, I was doing this, but you don't know what they're up to. And God forbid you get the bad news. So I feel like parents need to be expressive to their kid. Don't, like, especially Africans, we have that mentality of, I'm your dad, I'm your mom, like that. No, like, they already know, because how do you think they got here? They already know. You don't need to do that. You just need to tell them about your day. How was your day, mom? Oh, my day. Like, then they will do the same. If you ask them about that, they will tell you. You don't even know. Your kids will tell you everything. You won't even know. Because I tell my parents everything. Not everything, but I tell them the things that they need to know. So that's what I would give to them. Become their friend, but also don't lose the parent side.
Wonderful, bro.
Yeah.
To add onto something like that, just like what you said before, your mom will be at work, they have to call your mom, blah, Don't you think one of the reasons why most parents don't have that connection with their kids is because of
always working?
So if I can get you to say something about that, what do you think, like, they should do?
That's a big one, because look, like I said, the first almost 10 years of my life living in Australia, or the first 5 years, I saw my mom maybe Sunday, go to church, come home, spend an hour with her. She was gone for another 7 days, 6 days. For me, I felt bad, but I knew what she was doing it for, because she has to support people back home. You know how it is, man.
Yeah.
She has to support us here. So I saw it, but then I'm like, when you start playing soccer, you see all these white people, right? The parents have jobs too. But why the hell are they showing up to a soccer game, supporting their kid, or any event? They're like, hey, John, you're doing great, John. But you always have to get a list from somebody else. I think Africans will lose that aspect of being in the kid's life, because we're always thinking about, let's work. Work is great. Money is good, don't get me wrong. We all need it. We want to survive. But How are they able to prioritize certain things and put things into perspective? But we don't. We just look at the money aspect. Because if you ask a white mom and a black mom with the same job, somehow that white mom can go support their kid on the weekend. But that black mom's like, weekend, I double time and I'll go walk. But they're getting the same money. So how is it they're able to support their child into, even if they don't become professional, but it's what they're doing at this time. But you're like, oh, you understand, I need to go work, I need to pay this. But they're paying the same thing. They're paying rent, they're paying water bill, they're paying school fees. They're paying the same thing. But how can they navigate and you can't? What's the difference? So it's like, it was hard. Because when you play sports and you look in the stands, you don't see your parents, you don't see nobody there to support you. You're always going with your friend. It gets frustrating because you want that love as well from the sideline, especially when you do something great in a moment and you look for somebody to acknowledge it, no one is there. That's very difficult as an African kid. And a lot of us that played sport in this country, a lot of us went through that. A lot of us, if our white mates and their parents, we didn't have 7-seater caravans, we catch buses, you know. We know how to navigate Australia because we know how to get public transport A to B. Because, you know, you ask your mama, you ask your dad, I get walk. You gotta go to you get up, you catch your bus. You start planning your day the night before. Get to the game 3 hours before everybody because you have to catch 3 buses, 5 buses where your mate that works with your mom is getting dropped off by the mom. So it's like, they need to prioritize the kid when he's young because he's not gonna be a kid anymore. That's the problem. I don't feel like Americans, I think our parents didn't prioritize us when we were young. They prioritize money and working hard, which is great because I know what they're trying to do. Oh, I want to be lost in Africa. Oh, I need for some money. But what about me? I'm here. I don't get to see you on the weekends. I don't get to see you on the weekdays. Then when I grow older, and this is how arguments and that bond kind of fades because you're not there when I was young.
Yeah.
But you want to be there now when I'm older, successful, or whatever. Like, it's hard for you to be touchy with your mom and dad because the days that you need them, they weren't there for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyways, let's talk about something special, bro. So, what makes you jump into athletics, bro?
To be honest, man.
Because for me, yeah, what I'm seeing the short guy, yeah.
This guy. I don't know about the short name, at the speed, bro.
Yeah?
At the speed.
So tell me.
I'll be honest, like, athletics kept me out of trouble. Soccer, I used to play, like you used to play, Mark. I used to play for Rockdale as a kid and play for Daddy. I was good because I had a little bit of speed, playing up the front, up the wing. But soccer is a team sport, and I was still getting into trouble. Like, 'cause when you play a team sport, you can rely on the team. You can rely on the team, so you don't work as hard. Unless you want to be Maradona, then you probably work 10 times hard off the field. When I started running, I was all right in primary school, but I didn't take it serious. When I got to high school, I think I did a 1:7 race, and I won the 100 meters. I said to myself, I don't think anybody will beat me in school until I leave. I don't want to lose to anybody until I leave in school. I'm like, okay, let me find the coach. And the thing about athletics, to be honest, if you don't go training, you don't put in the work, you go race, you come last, you have no one else to blame. It's a sport that's selfish. You have to put in as much hard work and you'll get the same result back. So for me to not be in the streets at night, I had to be at training. Because I could do soccer, I can miss a game, miss training. Even if the coach puts me 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm chilling.
You're chilling, yeah.
I'm like, I've played. If I score one goal, maybe next week I'll start. You know? It just taught me how to be disciplined. It taught me how to be accountable for my own shit. Because if I don't put in the work, I don't get the result. And I wanted to be on the field. It started at school. I never want to lose at school. And when I started training, I started in Bankstown. I met this guy, big shout out to Gavin Bill. Was my coach, the first ever coach that I got. Very nice old man. I walked up to him, I said, I just want to train. He's like, oh yeah? I was like, okay. I started going one day and I was still playing soccer at the same time with training. So I'll run on Monday, soccer Tuesday, run on Wednesday, soccer Thursday. As a kid, you can do anything. You're Superman because you're not tired. You're young, your body's not developed. But the older I got, the harder it got. So I had to pick one. I chose athletics because I could see my career was going up in athletics in Australia. I could see that I was finding it more, enjoying it more, and I can enjoy the work. The power is in my hands. Yes, I have a coach, but it's up to me So it gives you structure at a young age. And because I didn't have that from my family at the time, because everybody was working, I needed structure. So athletics, I ran to it. It gave me structure. And that's why I literally threw myself at it. We're gonna retire soon. We're retiring because we're getting old, you know what I mean? But we're almost at the finish line.
Yeah, I want to ask you, with the athletics, with your the diagnosis before, so how did you balance your condition with the athletics? Was it affecting you?
No, because the coaches tell you do this. That was easy as well. You just go to the coach and say, okay, today we have that run. Sometimes you have to read the program. I think I got familiar and comfortable as well with reading, because I have to read the program of what is on the program, the gym program, the track program. And my coach, like I said, he was a very sweet guy. He understood that I had that, and he could sometimes he pulled me aside, oh yeah, this is what you have to do. I was like, all right, cool. You know, I know what I have to do sometimes. But even the markings on the track, I wasn't familiar with them. He taught me how to understand the markings, running from here, there, this and that. So I learned everything through him. And I became comfortable to a point where I just, okay, yeah, all right, cool. I better do my thing. At the start, I was just standing in the corner. I'd be waiting for him to come and tell me, because I didn't, but then I became comfortable. I think I got out of my shell more, and then I became more bubbly and all that stuff. So athletics really created this personality that I have, because I have to be amongst people. Like when you're training, you have teammates, but still a selfish sport. When you're competing on the weekend, there's so much people there. You're lining up, this guy be like, hey man, what are you doing, man? What are you, man? I was like, who's this guy? But that friendly competition comes out. Obviously when the gun goes, every man for himself. But you create your own persona. Like Bolt had his, the sign. Johan Blake had that. I just created my persona for me.
What's yours?
I'm just dopey. That's me. I can do, today I'm happy, tomorrow I can just switch up like that. If people need me to be in the streets, I'll be in the streets. But that lifestyle is not for me. I wanted a life for myself where I can look back and be like, bruh, I don't regret anything. So that's why I chose sport instead of being outside and getting in trouble.
Wow, cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you're still doing athletics. You're working, you're doing 9 to 5, yeah? So how do you balance?
That's another journey, man.
How do you balance the athletics and I want to learn your way.
This is why it comes back to, remember when I said your parents can work full time and they say it's for the money?
Yeah.
Well, now you're in a position that you have to provide for yourself. You have to find a way to navigate. It's literally about navigation and communication. So if I go for a job interview, I tell them, hey, I have training this time. So I don't wait for me to get the job, and then they give me a roster, and then they tell me to do this, and then I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I tell them at the start, because a job is a service that I'm providing. You're providing your service, I'm also providing our service. So if we both can agree on it, then we can work together. Because it's not always the employer giving you, no, you're giving your time too. It's not free. You're waking up in the morning, you're going to work, you're making your bread. If it was free, then no one would do it, but you're giving your time. So you have to, communicate with the employer. Hey, listen, I'm striving to be somebody in this field, and this is what I do outside of work. Yes, I need to support myself and pay my rent and do all these things, but I still have a passion and I still have a goal to achieve. So I'm telling you now, so this doesn't get in the way in the long run. You make sure you tell them. Sometimes I say, oh, sorry, man, I don't think this is for you. Thank you very much. On to the next. I don't wait for me to be in a position where I'm choked up for me to be like, I can't do this. I tell them from the start. But some of us will just keep quiet because we want the job so bad, or the money is good. The money cut. Do what's best for you. That's what people don't understand. They follow the money instead of their heart. I like to follow my heart and follow what I'm passionate about. I don't care about the money cuts. The money's gonna come regardless. So people forget about what their drive is and focus on about what they're gonna get. I like to focus on my drive, because if I put them both together, I'm having an earning and I'm following my dream. It's a win-win.
Well, some would say, they do that because of the board and the package they have behind them.
But that's why you find something that works for you. Yeah, it's hard. But Eric, everything we do in this life is hard. Everything we do, especially being a black man in a white man's world. Let's be honest, this is not our country. But we're grateful for the opportunities that we've got. You know what I'm saying? But we can't just always be crying and making excuses. We have to create our own passion, because we're going to have kids, man. And we want them to be in this environment. So we have to set the tone. When they get here, they know, okay, this is what it is. This is what my parents are doing. am I gonna follow their footsteps? And you can't navigate your kid's life. You can help them figure out what they want to do. What I'm doing today has nothing to do with my parents. It's all me. Because of my choices. My favorite word in life is choices. If we tell our stories, what we came through, they will write. Like I remember I told my story in primary school. They put me in the newsletter. Every parent came up to me. Oh my God, are you okay? Just a taste of what the struggles that I had, what we came through, Civil War, all that stuff. They don't know that. But that's like, we're not here to have some story. We need to work hard and make ends meet. But then again, it's our choice to be who we want. That's why I love the word choice, because it is a power that is in your hands. You control it. You get to decide what you want to do. Nobody else. So I hate when people start blaming other people for things. Oh, it's not this guy. It's not this guy. It's you. It is your job to put yourself in the position that you want to be. It's nobody else's job. Guess what? If you go play lottery, you win. Are you going to say, oh, the guy that buy me the ticket won the lottery? No, you say, I won the lottery. So you put yourself in a position when there's money. Put yourself in a position when you need to. Always hold yourself accountable. And I like that. I like to hold myself accountable for anything that I do. I don't blame people for my misfortunes. I don't blame anybody, bro. Because I'm like, I never get my life how I want. Sometimes it gets bumpy. Sometimes it doesn't. But that's life. You just keep moving, man.
100%.
So, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, yeah? I know there is someone out there doing athletics or starting like, or, oh, mom, dad, I want to compete in the Olympic, blah, 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 yeah? So what advice like you have to give to that young kid, or not even young kid, someone who is in that field, like from your own experience, what advice would you give?
Patience. The first thing they tell you is athletics is a patient sport. Oh my God, you have to learn patience, because you're going to come through trials and tribulations, man. The injuries, maybe you have a good training camp where you won't be running well. Sometimes it's a very patient sport, because once you're patient, you will get your reward. I'm lucky enough to have my reward. I'll tell you, the best day of my life is literally seeing my parents watching me compete in my home country, in Sierra Leone, in the flipping stands. I've never seen them so proud of me. It was crazy. These people have never seen me done anything, Yeah, they're watching me compete for Australia in the Oceania Games when I was 18, But like, it's 10 times better when you go home and you put in a performance and you dedicate it to them, and the joy. Because the semi-final, I came third. I was like, semi-final, I don't care. Final, we'll see what happens. And the good thing is, experience plays a big part sometimes in sports, because I've done it in international, I've done it abroad, I do it here, and I've trained with the best. So I know how to put myself in position sometimes. Sometimes all you have to do is win the big one, And for me, that was my big one. Like whatever I've done in the sport, nothing tops that, because it wasn't about me. That day it was about seeing them being proud of the investment. So they were sacrificing a lot for me to chase my dream. And for them to see that their sacrifice came to tuition, bro, it was like, that for me, that was it. Nothing can top that. Everything I've done in this world can't top that. I was happy, man. This was just my day, and nobody can take it away. When it's your day, doesn't matter, rain, shine, nobody can take it away from you, man.
So that's the same footstep you want that kid or whoever out there to.
Yeah, just do it for you. Be patient. It is a hard sport. Sport in general is hard. Mentally, people think it's all physical. It's all here. If this is not locked in, this will not be working. Your mind tells your foot what to do. Where to drive if you're not concentrating to get accident. Because the moment you switch off, boom, God forbid something happens. So it's the same thing. Your mind is what you have to work on. This is where you build up here.
100%. Yeah. So before we land up here, so what do you want to tell people? What's next for Dopey Michael?
Okay. First of all, I'm wearing my boy's merch, No Face Case. Make sure you follow him. Drop the thing on it. Yeah. I decided to pull up today. Represent businesses, man. We're all trying to make bread. I mean, for me, like, look, not everybody knows my story, so I can't. It's not secret anymore. But it's okay. I'm cool. I appreciate you inviting me into this platform to let me be expressive, to share my story, my version of who I am. I feel like, just be you. And if you have difficulties, you struggle from whatever you struggle from, don't let it stop you from doing anything, bro. Like just use that as an invisible cloak. You know, like you have difficulties, you're stuttering, but it hasn't stopped you. Like we shouldn't have these abilities stop us from achieving our success. It should be encouraging us from getting to our success. Because guess what? It makes you unique. Like put yourself in an environment full of people from different communities besides the African community or Australian community. Don't like, this guy speaks different. This guy's unique. You won't know, they'll just whisper among themselves. This guy, okay, we'll see again. But in a community, they're always gonna put you down. Let's lift each other up. This Australian community, our brothers and sisters, man, we're all here to do a job, which is survive and live and appreciate one another. Let's try and do that. Let's not put ourselves down. But like as a kid that wants to do anything in this life, be yourself, be expressive, don't hide who you are, and be patient. Sports is a rewarding, it's a rewarding accolade when you're patient, because guess what? Your time will come.
100%.
That's all I gotta say, man. And I appreciate you, putting me on this. It's been amazing, man.
But one more thing before we go.
Yeah, you're gonna ask me.
No. Now I want to ask you about this here, Beyond the Shift.
Yeah.
From your journey, from your story, everything you share with us, yeah? What Beyond the Shift, if you have to put it in your own space, what Beyond the Shift means to you?
I mean, like the name is very captive. It just means performing behind your ability. It means discovering the good, the bad, the ugly. Because like I just said, I talked about the good, I spoke about the bad, and I spoke about the ugly, but now I'm in a very, very good place. So I went back to the good. Because as a man, you have high and low, high and low. It's beyond the shift. You high and low, high and low. But you have to find a way to navigate it.
That's it.
You can do it alone, but nobody's surviving in this world alone. We need people.
100%. Nah, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Guys, you guys have all had the brother. He's joining his challenging phase. Like what he said, no matter what condition you go through in life, you have to open up, find a way to navigate. Like in any other way, in any way, you can take something out of his journey, his challenges. So you too can work on your own challenges as well. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, please,
like the video.
Please.
And drop the comments for us. Okay, guys, until next time, I'm Eric. This is Beyond the Shift. Let's hold, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Bye.